one last comment on that. So I have been, and we'll be working with the chief on the numbers regarding the traffic safety officer. Something I was curious about, and also I wanted to see if he could show me how they matched up. Because I did look at the numbers briefly that he gave me, and I saw that there was kind of a lag, like he said, LP. And, I mean, it's not about revenue, but it is about how we cover the cost at the beginning, at least. The beginning is the hardest part, when you don't have the influx of revenue. Safety, obviously, is the number one, and police aren't a revenue-relevant, entity. Okay, community development, I've been speaking with our planner, with Carla, about some grants and some other funding, but currently I do not believe I have it in the budget, and we'll be putting in there in the next day or two. She's also going to be looking over the parks part of the budget and going over her meeting on Saturday with the park board regarding that. Okay. So there's and I had her look at the permit numbers, and she thinks they're a good estimate.
I have one question. This might be too granular on it.
Okay.
Page 38, projected just in salaries, the salaries jumped by almost $40,000, $35,000. Just the way they're allocated. So 2013, it's budgeted or the projected is $27,004, and then Leanne's proposed budget $62,000.
Right. It's the way that it was allocated in 13 versus 14. And I can look at the allocation and show you, so I'll put that down as a question. It's a good question. I think we changed the allocation for Ken, and I think that's the impact of that.
Okay.
But I'm not 100%, but I'm fairly sure. So let me put down the line item.
We didn't have a public works director this year. We're paying out of class currently, but we're not paying entirely for it.
Well, right. Remember, we're also, this is a budget projecting to have a public works director next year, so that might be part of that as well.
Okay.
Was there a city engineer budgeted in 2013?
That might be part of that as well.
We're filling 2 positions.
And we're also filling the lead position. I'm not sure the lead would impact that, though.
No, it shouldn't, because I think the
No.
league was budgeted because it was still less.
Right. That's true.
And then on page 40, this is kind of just a personal preference, but you've got all the operating transfers to Fund 101 and 003.
Mm-hmm.
To save from flipping back and forth in pages, can you just make a notice of what each one is, even if it's acronyms or something just kind of called out what those funds are?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I know the biggies, but some of the smaller ones, without thinking. Unlike Josh, who's got to memorize. Thank you.
You got it. Okay, so let's just jump through senior center. Is there any questions regarding the numbers from the senior center? So as you can see, the number of people who have come to the center this year is greater through September than it was all of last year. Average number 474 to 656. So it's a service that the community is definitely taking advantage of. Okay, I'll move on to the youth center. You can tell me if there we go. I know something that the mayor was hopeful about these 2 services was that the person we hired to do public works and community development might have some experience in grants. Or the other alternative is to train one of the staff, such as myself or Amy, to do grant management as well. That's short of hiring a grant manager down the road, which is also a third alternative to generating revenues, because these two funds, as you've seen over the last few years, and I think it's increasingly obvious, are not generating enough revenue to cover the cost. And I don't know if that was ever, how important of a target that was for council. Yes.
I spoke with Joanne Fudge about your program for, can you flip back one, please? There are a lot of programs for first to sixth grade, and then from however you have to be at the senior center to attend there. She has one program basically that's sponsored by a church, one Friday night a month, for people that are seventh grade of high school. We need to get more things for that age group.
Was that the teenage age group you mentioned?
Yeah, you've got things from birth to sixth grade.
Right.
And then you have one Friday night sponsored event by, what church is it? The Edgewood Bible Church, one Friday night a month, if they have it, and nothing else really for the seventh grade to 12th grade kids. And I had mentioned this once before, and someone said, well, you may only get 5 or 6 kids. Well, that's 5 or 6 kids. I don't know why we're blowing off our teenage kids. It might keep them off the streets. If it pulls 2 or 3 of them off the streets, I'd be happy. I'm sure I don't know, Lieutenant Matthews, how many dealings do you have with teenagers out there being destructive or vandalizing or smoking dope on a corner or just not doing appropriate things? You'd be the one to ask that question.
I can't give you a number, but,
Oh, just pull
you know,
one.
I mean, we deal with that.
Sure.
We deal with it. It's kind of a seasonal thing, when you don't have school.
Well, do you think if we had some kind of program to try to entice these kids off the street, positive reinforcement as opposed to hanging out and being a hood?
Well, I would support any program that target that age group, teenagers. You know, I think it's important. I know there's a couple of us that are involved with Boy Scouts and things like that affect that age. We have our Police Explorers program, which targets that age group, and I would support any activity that would target that age group.
I just think that we need to put a little bit more effort into our teenage kids. I mean, I think they're fantastic for preschool to 6th and seniors, but we really need to put some effort into our teenage kids. Huh? Are you okay? Oh, okay. I don't know. Because I miss the word teenager? I'll lend you mine.
I already have done that.
So who do we talk to about that?
Yeah, I'll let her know. I put it down.
You can probably talk to them too.
I know I have the information that, John, that you talked about parks, and I have a citizen that wants to meet with me about that as well, so.
Now, this park issue you're talking about, this is, I'm assuming where the helicopter pad got put down, can that be removed fairly inexpensively?
Fairly easy.
I think it could be repurposed,
Well,
turned into a
Are you-
gazebo and
are you going to pull playground equipment over there so kids can actually use it instead of saying, yeah, over there behind that big 8-foot wall is where my monkey bars are, but we can't be there anymore?
Well, it sounds to me like this Saturday that, the parks are going to do a meeting, discuss those issues, so, I've been asked to attend, so I'll probably be bringing something on Monday, discuss it.
That was something that comes from the park.
Who owns the playground equipment at Pacific Park, after the county? So we could move it if we so chose, if we could put it on them.
You wanna do it in the park open?
Move it back.
Reference to it.
Something to do with those teenagers. Okay.
They're good at carrying that stuff apart. We should
Mhm.
you know.
We've been paying to do it. Okay. Next.
There's the criminal justice, general fund equipment. I just took a picture of the budget for next year. Shows the prisoner lodging and dispatch are the largest portion of that. Those numbers on loan principal for vehicles and interest are actually off a little bit. I'm going to correct those. And then we have a operating transfer to the equipment improvement fund.
There's a pretty big jump in traffic school aid. The projected for 2013 was 10,000, which goes in 34,000 next year. Where does that come from?
For chief. But what page are you on?
Have we been filling, 49, have we been filling our traffic school classes?
Traffic school's been paying for itself. We had, 20-something people per class. We've doubled classes when we had the traffic car on the road. But then, ever since they put the freeze on our hiring, it's gone down. So now for the last few months, we've been between 3 and 6 people attending that class. So it's been down. Where I think the chief's, I think the chief is being optimistic that because we have the 2 patrol positions filled, that we're gonna see a rise in participation in our traffic school program. But we took a really major hit. I mean, all our numbers hit rock bottom.
Was that it for general, next is special revenue, right?
Right, yeah. What I don't, actually, that the general fund equipment upgrades, now that, I did make it a little better to see, but it's still quite difficult. And I'll be handing that out with tomorrow's budget. It shows the breakdown of the 2013, 14, and 15, upgrading basically all the technology throughout City Hall, some in the police area and some in Public Works. And of course, is included in that. So about 6,000 for this year, and then 40,000 for next year is the largest chunk, which we'll get. We will no longer have any computers that are using XP, and all the computers will be upgraded to Office 2013, and then 2015 the upgrade is, I believe that's related to the network hardware and cabling, saving that for 15. I think we're okay for going another year with what we have, although it would be nice. And this also includes a wireless network in the council chambers, upgrades to these so they're ADA compliant. And let's see if I can read that. Actually, I have it right in front of me.
Is channel 21 included in this?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look on the estimate that was given to us by Auburn, but I'll ask that question. What was it that we were looking at for channel 21? To upgrade?
Yeah, new, because that computer in there is on its last leg.
That's right. Yeah, I can see that.
The software as well is really, really old.
Okay. I'll talk to Scott tomorrow about that. at Auburn.
And there may be grants available for that too.
Well, we're definitely gonna look for grants, for technology anyway. That also, this 40,000 includes the city website upgrade, so that'll take place hopefully early in 2014. Okay. Then we have special revenue fund, which is basically the street fund. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say about that. Capital improvement, is gonna see a lot of activity. Right there?
Oh, yeah. 2014 is gonna be a busy year, especially in the south end of town. Looking forward to it.
Total.
When's the majority of the projects gonna start? Summer? Spring?
No, they'll start in the spring, they'll be out to bid the first quarter of 2014. That's Stewart Road and Valentine both. Associated with that is replacement of water mains on both of those. We're starting to see a slight increase in activity down there on property. So in 2014, we'll see, I think, more activity down there as we start to do the road projects. I anticipate seeing a couple of the other properties start to upgrade a little bit. The intersection of 16th and Valentine, the general contractor has purchased most of that property there and is building a large yard in there. New construction-related company has moved into one of the properties on Valentine, is making some improvements, continue on their developments down there. And then, like I said, as the projects are underway, I think we'll see more activity. The property next to the Chevron gas station, that's been purchased by the person who owns the Chevron gas station. He's getting ready to build a commercial building in there. So we'll see activity there next year.
Do we have a feel for between the road improvements and the main replacement, what that'll do for fire service rating down there? It takes forever for them to re-rate. Do we have a ballpark?
I don't know if we have them scheduled to come in, but, I mean, we'll be looking at 2,500, 3,000 gallons per minute.
Yeah, huge
capability down
improvement.
there. Oh, yeah, I mean, we're going from a 6-inch line to a 12-inch line, that it's a multiple of 4 of what you can get down there, flow-wise. So. And as we're making these improvements on Valentine, it's a 12-inch main that's going in. Normally, you just put hydrants off, but what we're putting is 8-inch laterals so that anyone who develops, it's ready to run a fire line into their building.
And the re-rate will probably be able to.
Oh, it takes forever.
Well, we just got it done.
Yeah.
And we saw significant improvement. We went from a 6 to a 4, I think.
Yeah, and down there are still some areas that are rated poorly because of the fire flow, if I remember correctly. They're still down rated for the fire flow that's on. For the commercial rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still not as good as the environmental rating.
I think they rated the whole service area, so.
Yeah, there's a difference in the commercial versus the residential. Residential went up 2%, I think commercial went up that much, not that much.
Okay, next is the water fund, take a look at it.
Our existing system is not meeting current requirements for distribution system loss, so one of the big things we'll be doing next year is a leak detection in the residential area. We're not worried about it in the southern end because all those mains are being replaced. That's a significant undertaking that we'll be doing. We're updating, we have to do some updates to the SCADA system communication to make sure that system is continuously operating at the upper level. And we have to look at cleaning the reservoir. So those are some things besides the water main replacements that be going on Stewart Valley. We have proposed just a slight increase in the water rate, not at the base rate level or the first tier, it's only in the upper tiers. So those who've been in the first tier will see no impact to their water rate at all.
Next is the sewer plant. Sewer fund shows an increase in rate due to the increased rate.
The county is increasing the rate to the city. There was a previous rate increase that we did not increase our rates when that rate went up. And so now we're trying to catch up a little bit. We have some electrical work that needs to be done in Tacoma Avenue Pump Station. We have to relocate the power service to that pump station because the pole that was supplying it's falling down. And so there's some significant upgrades we want to do there. We're also looking at beginning the process of adding SCADA to the pump station. So that information comes back to City Hall. Our water SCADA system can take that information in so that we can then monitor what's happening at those pump stations. It allows us to be able to not have to necessarily go out, though you still want to do those occasional field checks because electronics don't always work quite the way we think they should. But it'll provide us with regular ongoing information, and sometimes we can find problems early on in the process before we have a big problem. And then we also have some repairs we're going to do with the road project. When LID 3 was constructed, there were a few properties on Valentine that were not served. So we will be adding those properties in to the project to make sure they get served. We've had some side sewers down there that have had some problems, so we're going to get those side sewers repaired as well while we're in the street, get it all done at one time.
Going back to the water fund, have we looked at telemetry for individual users? Is that something you've explored?
We have. Mr. Shunky's done quite a bit of research on that, and we're ready to make the switch over whenever the money's available. Ideally, we would do it next year, but I think, with all the construction going on, we sort of have that any extra money in water available that we can do an inter-loan fund if we need those funds, if we have a shortfall. And I'd be reluctant to want to start going on that path without knowing the direction the construction's going. Once we have bids open, we'll have a much better idea of where both those projects are going.
Do we have a cost estimate for what that might be?
I believe we do, but I don't have that number.
Because it's recurring as well as...
It is, but it gets wrapped up with the whole system.
Okay.
I mean, the nice thing about having those remote read meters, when someone says, I'm selling the house or they've sold their house, we can get a reading quickly as to where we're at with things. Plus, we can also do a better job of leak detection on people's property. Wait a minute, this meter's going crazy. Why are they having so much use? and we can start cutting back on some of that unnecessary water flow.
Well, it saves, hours and hours of staff time.
It saves staff time, it saves customer money, but it also saves us the hassle of, okay, we have to go through leak, a leak adjustment credit and deal with all that time associated with that.
Are there any questions about the garbage fund, other than I still plan to do research on ensuring that the money there belongs there and not some other fund? So my only idea would be that some of the fees belong in the general fund, say for franchise fees. I'm not really sure yet if that's gone into this fund. I have to do some checking in the history of, because we all know that's a challenge, so I'm putting that off until I get everything else done, but definitely still on my plate. So the next fund is stormwater. Okay. You want to share this?
We've got a little bit of an increase proposed on the stormwater side. We're looking at modifying the allocation of charges on the commercial side, and that we've increased that first level. Basically, we've increased the first level for non-approved systems. If you've got a non-approved system, the charge per ERU goes up. But what happens is if you have an approved system, you still pay the higher rate on that first unit, but the subsequent units really have not gone up as much. It's just gone up a little bit, it's stayed pretty similar. And the rest of the increase is on all those people who don't have approved systems out there, because they're putting more of a burden on the rest of the city system for conveyance and cleaning. And so we've transferred some of those costs back to them through this rate structure.
And how many unapproved systems do we have? Do we know?
I have it listed up there. I've got we have a spreadsheet on which ones are approved and which ones aren't. And then it's about half of the commercial ERUs are approved and half are unapproved, is my recollection.
Do we have any system of re-inspecting the approved systems to make sure they're actually still functioning at the level they're supposed to in order to qualify for the credit? Or are they approved and you can let it fill up with leaks?
We do have a system for reviewing and inspecting to make sure that they're properly maintained. It doesn't mean that it meets current standards, because current standards are
whatever
more
is
stringent.
approved too.
Right. We do have a system, and we're starting to go out and inspect those to make sure that they are. We've had them do self-inspection and certify those inspections. And now we're beginning the process of actually doing the field visits this year and making sure that they are being maintained the way they say they're being maintained. And we actually have an inspection check sheet that we'll be using when we do those inspections.
Utilities equipment fund. I've been working with Jim on putting together a list of what we have and what we need. It's attached to the end of the PowerPoint presentation. It's still a work in progress. What we're trying to do and what city code calls for is to ensure that we put away enough money each year to replace equipment when it's due to need replacing. And this fund right here is for semi-emergencies when something breaks down earlier and you have the funds in it to replace that. There was budgeted, I believe, well, we can look at it and see that initially, let's see. Maybe nothing in this year, but I probably took that out. I think initially there was money budgeted there. I'll have to go back and look at it and see. I think it was budgeted for the mower, but we moved it to the other fund, where they got paid out of stormwater.
Oh, the slug mower?
Yeah. And that
Yeah,
was,
we had a stormwater grant, we had 30,000 sitting on the table that we were going to potentially lose, but because we bought that slope mower in the right time period, we were able to get repaid for that, because its primary purpose is mowing ditches and cleaning around the pond. So we allocated 65% of the cost of that equipment to stormwater, and then we could recoup the monies through the stormwater grant.
So this is only for the field.
sorry? Yeah, it's very small, very low activity. The future though, we plan on putting aside funds every year to build it up. Now, as you can see, it's sitting at $143,000.
I think it was 7 years since we bought the last truck. This is 2015, not that long.
How long?
2000.
That's time to do it.
I've never seen it. I didn't know you were.
Oh, yeah. Now is the time you would want to get all the money picked up as part of
I've
the
never
stormwater.
seen it. So when we get to see it.
Well,
Or your fun.
Fun's right.
You can at least put it in the parade. I've never
We
seen one.
almost ought to.
I am impressed.
Oh, the Vector truck?
No,
No,
the fact that
street
we have a street sweeper and I've never seen it on the streets, and I've lived here for almost 5 years.
Well, I
I have never seen it on the streets.
I know that when King County was down there working
Stewart.
on realigning Tesco's, our crews did go down there, because I sent them down a couple of times, because I said, well, King County's doing this work, and they had their own sweeper, but I said, the streets are still a little bit dirty, so I sent them down to clean down there. They said, well, we were just down there the other day, and I said, we need to keep the streets clean down there, because of all the extra dirt that's getting tracked on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I see them I don't ever see it, but I see the trails, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go by my place, because they clean that one undersized drain, so that it doesn't flood.
Okay. Well, I'm impressed we have one. Yay, Kate.
And your neighborhood may not have many leaves that are a problem, especially this time of year. That's their primary issue. They're trying to get all those leaves cleaned up out before they get in the storm drain or block the storm drain.
Okay, now can you tell me what is a factor?
The Vector truck is used, it's used for flushing and cleaning catch basins and storm drains, but ours is primarily used for spot excavation, so that you're not digging up a huge hole in the road when you have water leaks. They can get in there quickly and excavate out to find the leak source and get it repaired quickly without digging up a huge pit.
It's a huge shop vac on a truck.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay.
A huge expensive shop vac on a truck.
It is, but it's a very useful piece of equipment.
Okay.
I was just telling Josh, I can't believe it's been, 7 years since we bought that. It seems like we just.
Yeah.
And you own a cement mixer.
We do.
Do we ever use it?
I don't know when the last time is that they used it, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know if they've done any sidewalk repair or not, but they would have used it.
I'd like to have one and not use it, than not have one and try one.
Sidewalk repair, I remember being cash for that, so.
Yeah, that's right.
We have cement brought in from John Cement Company?
It depends on.
Anyway.
So, and you know all the pie charts, obviously taxes is a big part of general fund revenue. Expenditures, we all know, that's somewhat slanted to the police. And let's see, citywide payroll comes up next. the FTE schedule. So right now, we're looking at, how many resumes do we have, Amy, on public works director so far?
6 or 7.
Okay. So Leanne, I know Leanne had wanted to have somebody come on board by January 1st. I'm not sure what her, it depends how long she is laid up to see if that's realistic or not. You know, right now I think we're managing things, but we're gonna need somebody in pretty quick at the beginning of the year. I kinda look at it as the longer it takes, it's a bonus in the financial side of it, but it's a negative on the operational side, so we need to get
On the city engineer
public
side.
works director.
Public Works Community Development Director, I mean, it's a struggle keeping everything going over there right
Right.
now.
Yeah,
Especially with Ken out sick. We're
How long has he been sick?
for over a month.
yeah.
And nobody's been doing his job?
I do what I can.
Who do we
Should
hire out
he
there?
replace them? Why, union?
Well, he's a union position, number one. Number two is, I think he, yes, yes.
Well, no, get
As
somebody
building
in there
inspector.
to do his
That's right.
job, I mean.
Right, that's what his title is.
When we need someone to do building inspections, we use sound inspection to
Right.
take care of those issues for us. They will do plan review if we need plan review. We will bring in consultants to do elements of that project
Okay,
as
okay.
necessary. And then I'm trying to pick up slack in some areas as well.
It's the problem we ran into with Psy, where you have somebody that's out on a leave, that position's currently filled, is currently being paid for, and the budget only allows for one position, and it's already filled. So that's where the contractors come in.
Right. And he is, I know that Ken was undergoing, I believe, surgery today. So we'll find out, and he's gonna be in the hospital, I think, 3 days, right?
He's expecting to be back on Thursday.
Right, so hopefully it'll go well, and he'll be back. So along with the, public works director will come the lead, and then they'll fill the position of lead, public works technician or whatever. So that's set up for next year, so next year, hopefully, like I said. I believe besides that, and the police officer possibly adding, or the police possibly adding the traffic officer, that's the only changes we're at now. And then, I believe the rest is more of Jim's narrative. So the associate planner and the permit technician, I have them in the schedule right now in the budget at full-time, 40 hours. That's the last I spoke with Kenny, said that. So we're really not sure, that's gonna be driven by the activity. If the permit activity picks up, that'll stay, but if not, it depends on, and obviously the new public works director is gonna have to come in and see how that works. So you put these numbers out there, didn't you,
Yeah.
60. So, right now, that's where they're at, I believe, too.
We're at 80, I believe they're at 80% now. They both are at 80%.
Can I bounce backwards?
Sure,
Can I ask Lieutenant Massey a question?
sure.
Sergeant Pickett has been gone for a while. Did you eliminate his position? Are you looking to put someone in his position?
His position was not budgeted, so it was never budgeted last year.
Oh, okay. So you have, okay.
If I remember right, part of the budgeting process was to take that that position and
Even
give
though,
it an officer on the street versus going in as a supervisor as well.
okay.
Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
So it's just you and the chief, or the public safety director?
Me and the chief, yes,
Oh, Sergeant Bob, okay.
Detective.
and Detective Newton.
Any other questions from council?
This is the last slide, that's the list of vehicles, in the years when the contracts will have to be.
Do you know what year we picked up the Suburban?
Oh, wait, it looks like, is that
No.
I thought we bought that used. I've been wrong before. Twice.
Is that hard to find when we
No.
picked it up?
Yeah, that's,
It's right there. So
One of those-
Oh, yeah, this is the information I got from the chief so far, I'm working with him to get some more information.
Well, Trent is thinking that the bourbon was picked up used. So can you find out from the chief what year we actually took possession of it?
Yeah, I need to get records on all of that, so that going forward. Because right now, as you can see, we have, in 2015, 4 vehicles will be replaced, and then 2018, 7. I would rather see it spread out a little better than that.
well, and that was gonna be my question. I know what they do at the fire authority is we've actually got it's an Excel doc that has it spread out over however many years.
Right.
And you have, as one's taken out of primary service, it's put in, as a backup vehicle, and it's backup for X amount of years, and then it's surplus. So, I don't know if that's something, if we can build out a plan that lets us replace them every, a handful every 2 years versus all of them, or half of them every 4 years. I don't know if we can do that. Because you have, one of them's listed as a pool vehicle, right? So the
Mhm.
the Larry Last Dodge Charger. Is that the only pool car we have, is the one Charger?
It is.
Can I ask one other, why is it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Dodge Chargers all bought the same year. One only has 14,000, the other ones have 25, 20, and 23. Is the 14,000 just sitting on the corner and watching people?
Remember, we bought new vehicles in 2012, but we lost officers. So
Oh.
people weren't driving the
That's
cars.
right, that's right. Black that out of my memory, I'm sorry. Okay, okay, gotcha.
Got a lot of parking lot time though.
You think?
All the tires are flat spots on one side.
Yeah.
Well, that one might not be replaced in 2015, it'll still be, under warranty, because it hasn't hit the mileage on it yet, maybe.
Those are, well, I looked at the state bid contract that we did on those 4 vehicles, and the interest is great. I mean, it can't beat a 1.17, so
Right,
it's not a bad deal, it's just that we need to spread it out a little so we don't get hit by,
right.
because right now the payments really are they're less than $30 for those 4 vehicles in 1 year. So, and it goes through 17, so we're gonna be adding 4 more in 15, so then you go from 30 to 60, and then those will fall off, but you'll have the 30, and you'll be adding 7 more in 18, so it gets to be 100,000 a year. It gets to be a little pricey then.
Is there a prepayment penalty for that lease?
I don't know, I need to find a contact with the state that I can talk to about that.
Because it might be nice to where if we could pay 2 of them off halfway through and then
Mhm.
at least start that cycle to where it wouldn't cost us all the vehicles. I mean, it'd be nice to explore options.
And if we do pick up this, Tahoe for Lieutenant Massey, God, how long is that car good for? Till 20? If the ones bought in 12 are dead in 18, so 14 would be going in 20, 2020?
Oh, you got good use out of this last.
Yeah, he did 2000 to now, that's pretty good.
But when did we buy it? We didn't buy that one new though, did we?
Which one?
Pick up truck.
The truck you're driving now?
We had it, when we still had the fire department.
So that's 2007.
And when the fire department, went over to Auburn, we took the vehicle from the fire department and then we put it into police service. And I don't remember when it was that, VRFA took over,
So that your truck was originally a fire department property, or?
Well, I got it from the fire,
Equipment? Okay.
I picked it up from the fire department, VRFA took over.
Right.
So, it was voted in 06 and,
But it's okay.
Any other budget questions? I know we didn't have this before, but I'd like to do just a short executive session before we get to Gary's topic for the contract negotiations. And it might talk about his topic. So just a quick update, I would say it's no more than 5 minutes.
I can add one thing, there were 3, it appears as if there's 3 properties down that floodplain.
Yeah.
Oh,
My thought is give this to Ken or somebody, I wrote on the back, you write them a letter, dear people who own this house, we're offering you right now a certification of flood. You have 60 days to utilize it, use or lose it. You need a survey later on, you're on your own.
Well, I'm wondering, as floodplain administrator,
Is that you?
no, the city.
The city is.
Don't we have the right to survey it anyway, since it doesn't currently have one? I mean, obviously, it would be better to do it with the.
Yeah, did you
It-
get all the
It's the
people?
right of entry agreement that's the big issue. If they won't sign a right of entry agreement, the surveyor is reluctant to go on private property.
Well, I know that this person right here is gonna tell you to go away. And she-
350?
Yes.
No, they're the ones who want it.
Oh, they're the ones that want it?
When
They're the ones with the evil dog.
when you look at the difference in cost on the flood insurance, you'll know why they want it.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna save
I will contact those three tomorrow and see if I can line up right of entry agreements for all of them and have parametric telling what it's gonna cost for one.
Well, we can go talk to these people, they're really nice people, and
So-
tell them they want it.
Yeah, if we could just, I'm sure we've got a letter, but I think it's a great idea to do that.
I would like, because I'd like to expedite this, because I know that 350 is in a
You've got
hurry.
yours, right?
I do.
This is mine. Either that or, you know, write a letter, you know, here, we're gonna do this for you as a service, and we're gonna pay for it. If you choose not to do it, when you need it, and you will, you're on your own. We're done.
Do we have something that explains what it is?
I believe we have some information. I can see what the letter was.
So any objection to doing executive session before Gary's addition? Was that an objection or just a lot of time?